6, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? We are here with our first episode of the Mat Time Sport Karate Conversation. My name is Kyle Reed, and we're going to be trying to do these as much as possible, as frequent as possible, to give you guys that information and those conversations that need to happen with our sport karate conversations here. I would like to welcome our first guest. Most of you may know him. Used to be very controversial, but now the man behind most of the scenes of the martial arts tournament, the man with the computer in his hand, the man that doesn't stop texting me, and my wife's slightly a little concerned about it. I'd like to welcome in Mr. Jeromy Roque. How we doing there, sir?
What's going on, sir? It's kind of hard not to come in with a laugh when you introduce me like that, sir.
Absolutely, we gotta start the vibe off right. But what I said was true, right?
You're not one to tell stories. You're gonna speak the truth and say what you feel. So I like it. But yes, 100% true. I am always message you, except when you message me at 4 or 5 a.m. the other night. But yes,
this is true. I had a crazy idea that time, and I was like, I need to tell someone about this.
There you go.
So you happen to be that man with the plan.
That's funny. That's funny. What's going on, man?
Nothing. So super excited to get this podcast started. I'm super grateful for the opportunity with USA Sport Karate to really build the brand, build everything, and just open the conversation, because I feel that's one thing in our sport that really sometimes lacks, is that open conversation. We both own martial arts schools. A lot of people own businesses, and as consumers that are in your business, you're allowed to speak you have that opportunity to speak your mind, or speak some questions, concerns, comments, or information even. So I feel like in our sport, it's sometimes hard to find those people or find those connects, and to have that conversation. So I think this is a great platform for us to sit here and bring people in and just engage in the conversations that need to be had.
No, I agree. I think it's too hard as a customer today to get to the ear of maybe the people that can make the change, right?
Absolutely.
And we don't do that. I don't do that. I'm always tell customers, I'll listen. I may not agree, but I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to what you have to say. If you have video of something you want to send me it. I can't use it as an arbitration, of course, but I'll gladly take a look at it so we can help train, help empower, help do what is necessary. But I think you're right, Kyle. I think we do need to make sure that the ear is on the floor and the ears to our customers, because at the end of the day, that is what they are. They're our customers at that moment.
Absolutely. And I always, when I talk with other fellow promoters and things like that, there can be no, I'll use me as an example. There could be no Mid-Atlantic Challenge, but there can still be competitors.
Yep.
Without them, there is no me. There can be a me, but there can't be a me without them. So that's one of the things that I've been really using as my platform when I talk to people is, we need you. I need to hear you, and I need to listen, engage in that. So our topics today that we're going to be talking about is the past, present, and the future of sport karate.
Sure.
You've been around the league a long time. You've been a part of teams. You've been a competitor. You've coached. You own a school. You coordinate. If any hat that you have worn, you have been involved in this sport and part of it. But how, since you started actively jumping into the league as a competitor at any league, have you seen the improvements since where we were? Because we always talk about we need to improve, but we never really talk about where we started and now where we're at, that improvement wise.
No, that's a good point. It's a good topic. I knew you were going to ask this question, and so I've been thinking about it. And I think number one, How we have improved, I think. Let's start with aesthetics and how everything looks. Right, our tournaments are more safer overall. I think 99% of tournaments. Well, I can't say 99 that we go to have matted floors, so they're more safer for the competitors. Right, almost all of them are using some sort of technology, so it's better for the athlete if you know how to use it. Meaning you can access your schedule, you can access your divisions, you know who you're competing against the morning of. And so I think that makes it a better experience. I know me, I'm looking forward to accessing that data. Even if it's not my tournament, if I'm judging a tournament, I want to know what divisions I'm running, how many athletes I'm competing against. And so that's, how many athletes I'm judging, not competing anymore. But I think that improved a whole lot. I think from the safety going back to the control in the rings. I think overall, judges and all tournaments across all leagues are having more control. They're understanding that this is a light contact sport, and I think it's moving, it's trending in that direction. I mean, I saw those are a few areas just off the top of my head that I think the host of tournaments, and I'm using that word very carefully because I want to talk about the word promoter later if you give me the opportunity. But
Absolutely.
of tournaments, I think they're doing a good job in finding venues and securing venues. I think a lot of tournaments that we're involved with are providing good bang for their buck, right? In terms of giving more divisions or giving more fights for the athletes. So I think there's a lot of improvement happening. But you're right. Sometimes it's easier to focus on the negative than the positive. So I think there's a lot of positive that's happened.
And I feel like over the last year to maybe 2 years, we have really gained traction overall, not just with USA Sport Karate, but other leagues providing that quality customer service and that quality safety and that level of professionalism that we're always trying to shoot for. Because we all talk about we want our sport to be treated professionally. Well, it starts from the foundation.
Yes.
If we don't organize with mats, spacing, whatever it may be, and give that optical look of professionalism, we can never be quoted professional.
Well, Kyle, you're right. And at the same time, remember, you run a karate school, I run a karate school. But if the karate school down the street has a cleaner facility, has a better looking facility, has their students just look better, their students are performing better. Well, we need to do one of two things. We need to either evolve or we're going to be put out of business. We're going to be shut down, right? And so I think what happens is there's a lot of good people out there hosting tournaments. There's a lot of solid leagues that are hosting events. And when one rise, we all rise. And with people like you, and there's a lot of people like you and people like me as well, we go to events, and whether it's our event where we have any financial benefit in whatsoever, we still go to help. How can we help? I don't care whose tournament it is. I don't care if I don't even like the host of a tournament. How can I help? Can I help by judging? Can I help by scorekeeping? Can I help by doing something at registration? Do you need water bottles on a table? Where do you need me to plug in? Wherever it is, whether it's the lowest man in a total bowl or the highest, I'm there to support. Why? Because we care about the athlete. And so that, I think, the more people put the athlete first at the tournament, the better every tournament will rise, not just the ones that they're a part of or whatever league they're a part of.
Absolutely, and like you just said, like over the last 3 weeks, I've been at 3 different tournaments with 3 different league rules and this and that, and showed up, did my certifications, made sure I was qualified for what I needed to do, and hey, where do you need me?
Yep.
I'm not here to sit in a chair and just watch all day. Put me to work, whether it's 6 and under beginners or 60 plus black belts, wherever you need me. But I think that goes by the agenda that some attending the tournament have. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm there for, you're there. So a lot of us are there for the success of the event, because if that event is successful and we played a small little part in it, that reflects later on for when we decide to do things, or we're judging and that competitor goes, man, I really like when that guy's judging. He's moving that ring. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's not one. You know what I mean? So things like that, I think play a part instead of, yeah, do I love going to see all my friends at tournaments and hanging out and having lunch? But I'm there to do a job first, or you're there to do a job. I think that has to be one of the mindsets going there or going to any event,
Well,
realistically.
I think that needs to be the mindset of a promoter. So I'll use this opportunity to jump in to say, we have people who host tournaments, which they find facilities, they charge people to go to their facility, they get people to judge, but I don't think that's an advocate for the sport. That's just someone who wants to make some money, right? Then you have promoters. And I think a promoter of a tournament, I think you can only be classified as a promoter of a tournament when you're advocating for the sport and the athlete first, regardless of where you are at, right? I go to a tournament. I was at one this weekend, right? And some solid judges. But at the moment that their athlete is going to compete, hey, I need to step out of the ring. I have to go and coach. Well, I get it, but are you here for the competitor? Are you here for your coach, your students? What are you here for? What is first on your mind? Because I think if you're a promoter, you promoter mindset trumps and supersedes that of a coach of your studio. Because now you don't have just the clients of your studio, right? You have all of these people are clients, and they all need to be treated equally. They all need to be treated fairly. And that means if you coach, you can't service everyone. If you judge, you can. If you help coordinate, you can. If you help do something else, you can. So I think that needs to change. If you are a promoter, you need to think about how can I put the athlete first today, regardless of what event you are at. And I think that definition of what is a promoter is no longer needs to be a guy or girl who puts on a tournament and invites people to come out. Maybe I'm wrong out there. I don't know.
No, and I'll be the first one to tell you I'm guilty of that, being that I coach for Revolution. So I have my immediate responsibilities, obviously, to a lot of the events that I go to. But I'll jump in, judge when I can. All right, my fighters are going. I have to jump out. And you saying that, it definitely, it makes sense. Like, where do I want? Where's my vision? Where's my goal? Where's my what's my agenda first? And I agree with you that if my job is there to judge, my job is there to judge. If my job is there to coach and I can help as judging, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, no, I see it, but I think that changes. I think as again, the promoter of the tournament you go to, if they say, "Hey, I need you to judge," and you say, "Yes, I'm there to judge," then you are that hat only. Now,
Absolutely.
if they say, "I'm good on judges," then you go there dressed differently, right? Because coaches and judges dress differently. Well, they should, right? Sorry, that's another conversation, maybe for a different show.
Yes.
But
We'll save that one for part two of Mr.
part two.
Over
But
there.
anyways, no, I just feel like we need to remember what we're doing. What we're doing there. Matter of fact, so early this year I went to a tournament. It was the USA Sport Karate tournament, but I purposefully went in jeans. Why? Because I know if I go in jeans, I won't judge and I won't coordinate because that's not the uniform. But I also went there to my son was competing, and so I wanted to be a coach. And I also went there just as a spectator to see where the holes in what we're doing is, are we doing what I took notes, good, bad, ugly's great. So we can go back to the team and study it. And, but I went in jeans. So that way I can't judge. I can't. But I went there to view and learn about what's going on. But I think again, that was dependent on what was needed of me that day. I wasn't called to judge that day. So
Absolutely. No, 100%. Now, fast forward a little bit.
yeah.
Now you've decided you've done competing and and you've stated your improvements that you saw and this and that. How did you know this is the direction you wanted to go in? or where was the direction when you stopped competing? How did you know you wanted to still be involved in this crazy lifestyle that we all love?
Yeah.
But what led you down this path to where you are, or how you got here?
That's funny, man. So in Florida, there was always a couple of leagues a couple reputable leagues hosting tournaments, right? And one no longer was going to host tournaments, right? I was Fame. Fame was going to no longer to host tournaments, and so I just looked at it as there was a hole in the market, right? Because those people wanted somewhere to compete, right? At that time, I was still competing, though, mind you. But so that's when we decided to start up our league. You know, it started with Blitz Martial Arts Tour. While Dave Sklar, partner, the other director of US Sport Karate, had a league called Kick USA. And later on the line, we merged together and we have now USA Sport Karate, right? But the why, honestly, it started with just these athletes need somewhere to compete at a quality they're used to knowing and expectation, and it could be done better, right? Because that's what it's all about, is what can we do better? How can we improve on? What can we give them more of? And so we try to do that. We did that, and we're doing it now. And so fast forward to today, why are we here? Why am I still in the sport? Man, because I love the sport, dude. I love the sport, and I think we can do more. I think we can all be united. I think we can be together. I think there's a pathway, no matter what league you fly above your head, no matter what league you wear on your chest. I think we can all be united we are united in the sense that we care about the competitor. I think if you ask every promoter, they're going to tell you the same thing. Whether it's true or not, they're going to tell you that. I think every league is going to tell you the same thing. So we're united that we care about the athlete. But now we need to be united on, do we care about the sport enough to say, let's play the same sport everywhere. Let's not play something different. And so that's my mission, man. That's my vision for the sport. That's really what I am passionate about. Hopefully, when I leave this place and someone else is doing something better for the sport than I am, I started that ball rolling, or I'm got the ball almost to the end zone. Let's see.
No, well, first off, thanks for taking my next two questions, engulfing them all in that one thing.
Oh,
So,
sorry, man. You have to stop me. I'm like a politician.
no, you're all right.
Man.
No, I'm muting, taking them off screen. But no, that was my next question, is like, really, what's the goal? Like, what is the end result? And you said unity. And a lot of people that speak to me about USA Sport Karate, and because I'm everywhere, anywhere. I mean, I was at ProMac in Texas. I was at Diamonds with NASCA. We have a USA Sport Karate event coming up with K-Talk. Everything. I'm everywhere. I try to be as everywhere as I can, as helpful as I can. And everyone asks, like, what's the goal? And I always tell them unity. It's not a takeover. It's not a this. It's not that. It's just equalize the playing field, that no matter where you compete or where you are, it's the same.
Mhm.
Because as a judge, it's hard to change rule sets. As a competitor, it's hard to change rule sets. As a parent, it's hard to know the different rule sets for different divisions. So the moment things become confusing to the client or the customer, it becomes not as interesting. It becomes more of a struggle.
Service. It becomes bad service. And maybe you didn't provide bad service. Maybe you did a great job based on the rule set that day, but because the athlete or the parent was not knowledgeable, and again, not their fault, they go from 1, 2, 3 different leagues and they have 3 different rule sets. Well, they understood one thing and you gave them something else based on what they received last weekend or the weekend prior. And so now it's just bad service.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the one of the biggest things, like I said, unity. And that's kind of like what drew me over to this side when I decided was just the path, the goal, that customer first, the competitor first, always mindset. And I'll go back to what I said before. There is no me without them. There is no you without them. And you know what I mean? We can't survive without them.
Man, I think that's important. You say that, and you said it again, and I'm going to take an opportunity to jump on that, because sometimes, and I think it's a martial artist thing, maybe our ego, maybe the degrees on our belt. I don't know. We think I am. Remember, and let's rewind. Remember, we are all masters of our little space, of our 2,000 square foot space of our studio, right? We're masters of that little world, or whatever you want to call it. And we are the head people in that little world where everyone bows, right? And everything. And so what happens is, I think the ego, this is my tournament and I will do it this way, right? With the Mufasa voice and all, right? So, but I think what happens is they forget that no, this is their tournament. This is that kid's first tournament. They will remember this day forever. That's that mom and dad's first event. That's grandma's first time supporting little Johnny. Or that is a young champion there, green belt, who is chasing points on the title and really expecting to have a great experience, not to have judges who don't know the rules or what's going on, right? We have to remember that, and we're not perfect. Nobody is. We're going to make mistakes, man. But we have to get in front of it and do our best to remember them first, customer first.
Absolutely. And even when we do make mistakes, like you said, everyone is going to make it's how you handle that mistake. Not
Yep.
brushing someone off, not ignoring their complaint, not ignoring them. It's taking into consideration what they're saying and partially taking fault for it. I didn't do a good enough job providing this to you. And
Yeah.
now, granted, it may not be totally our fault as promoters or whatever it may be, but still, it is our event or it is your event. So no matter what happens, you have to accept responsibility at first and figure out a way to move through it. Another saying that I always use, my grandmother always gave me: never find fault, find solution.
Yes. You said that when I first met you. There was something going on and whatever, and oh, that was the first day I said, "Go coordinate, figure it out."
Yes, sir. I was 7 a.m. in the morning when you said, "Hey, do you know how to coordinate?" I said, "No." You said, "Go figure it out." But never find fault, find a solution. There's always a solution to make the situation better. Someone missed a division. Okay. We all know we can plug a quick new division in. Let poor little Johnny, first off. Little Johnny, everyone uses as an example in the karate world. Like, God, this poor little Johnny is just everywhere.
I'd rather be Johnny than Karen, man. So I don't know.
You're not wrong. But we can create a quick little division. Boom, let little Johnny go out there and perform, get his award. Because realistically, what does it cost us, right? Like, to give another medal out. Like, you're stepping over dollars for pennies at that point.
Yeah.
By just doing that little bit of extra customer service, or that little bit of, instead of, oh, you missed a division, don't and there's nothing I can do about it. No, let me see. Okay, you're going to compete against these guys, but you already won, but you're at least going to compete against something. Like, at least have that opportunity. And I think that's one of the things too, is always try to find a solution. Always try to find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Kyle, let me ask you a question. I'm going to change the interview. I'm going to turn the interview on you.
You're not allowed to do this. This is
Where, yes, sir. Where do you think you learned the most about a promoter?
Where did I learn?
Where, not who you learned from or what you learned it. When you're speaking with somebody, where do you think you can learn the most about that person, who they are?
By listening.
By listening.
By listening.
I go ahead. Yeah.
But honestly, I as a promoter, I ask questions. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? Tell me my faults. Like, I'm a Q&A kind of guy. Or if you got complaints, come on, I got thick skin. Let me have it. Let me know. But I always say, listen, and ask the questions that don't want to be asked. What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Or what can I improve on? Because no one ever wants to hear really what they did wrong or what they can improve on. It's nice when everyone's like, oh, you did a great job, this, that, and the other thing. No, I want to hear from that person that had a horrible experience and or just didn't like what was going on. Tell me why. All right, now let's fix it. There's a school that I'm working with now who knew a little bit about sport karate, came to my event, realized they really needed to be educated, reached out to me. So now once a month I go visit them. We train, we go over sport karate, we go over the rules, so now that school now feels educated and understanding and more comfortable. But I did that because I felt like it was a service I owed them and I needed to provide. And that option is open for anyone that is close to me.
Yeah, no, I think it should be. I think it should be. So I think I learned the most from a promoter when I judge next to them. And why? Because you have conversations, you get to see how they interact with the competitor, with clients that are not theirs, so to speak, right? Which again is wrong mindset. But I think I learn a lot from a promoter whenever I judge next to them, and I get to see what kind of service they provide, because the service you're providing at that moment tells me a lot about the service you're going to provide later at your event.
Yeah, no,
Everything I need to know about what kind of person you are. Are you if you walk away from your ring, I know exactly how your tournament's going to run. You're going to have people who walk away from their ring because you didn't care about the athlete. If you stay there, grind it out, high five little Johnny because he did a good job, or he's sad, or he's crying. Find a way to put that black belt in the proper division because maybe they missed their division, or maybe they did a rule infraction. So they realize, I'm supposed to be creative, not traditional. You find the solution for them. You learn about them, right? Again, you're going to see what kind of event that person's going to have and how their event's going to run based on how they run their ring. You could tell a whole lot from that couple hour experience with that person.
No, absolutely. And I also think like just using promoters as an example, how many promoters that are at events are willing to jump into the trenches, or even your own event to jump into the trenches? Like whether it be to grab a coordinator or sit in a chair for a scorekeeper to run to the bathroom, or grab the laptop so you can have a 5-minute break on coordinating so you can throw some French fries in, you know what I mean? Or, hey, who needs waters? Or, hey, who needs this? What promoter's really willing to jump into the trenches? We need a judge. Okay. Guess what? I'm standing right here as a promoter. I'm just walking around, shaking hands, saying hi. Cool. You need someone to fill in? All right. I'm jumping into the trenches because, again, I need to be able to provide that service, whether I'm walking around, whether I'm doing this, whether I'm doing that. Now, obviously, that's not the ideal position for a promoter, but in the trenches, when we need something to get done, if there's no one around and you're the only person, sometimes the card is drawn and it's time to go into play.
Yep. No, I agree. Wherever needed, man. Wherever needed. That is your role that day, wherever needed. Because, again, you want that same courtesy given at your event, too. So it's, wherever needed.
No, I 100% agree. So now moving into the future end. All right. So again, you've invested your life to this sport, to this. I don't even personally, I hate referring to it as a sport because it's my life.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, it is a sport, but like, this has been my life. This has been your life. This is no longer a sport. We have our own school. We have this, so you invested your life to this sport. Like, what direction do you see the sport trending? Do you see it trending in a positive direction or negative, or kind of like we're stuck in the mud kind of direction?
No, man, I actually think it's going in the right direction right now. I think if you asked me a decade ago, I would have said we're stuck. We're doing the same thing. But I think it's moving in the right direction. I think people are all taking it more seriously. I think not only the officials are, the judges are, the athletes. I think we really have picked up the baton. The young generation is running with the show. And I think that is important. The old dogs need to sit down, go retire, go back, give me a high five, and let's let the young people run the show, because their vision is different. Their vision is clear. So I think the sport is moving. Could it be moving faster in that direction? Yes. But I think that's one thing that, when AAU came and they tapped us on the shoulder, it told us that for me, I took it as sport karate was now being acknowledged as something more serious than what it always was. Right. And I think sport karate being acknowledged as a discipline in itself, right? Well, we have Taekwondo, we have Goju, we have Kempo, all this, but sport karate is its own discipline. And so I think it being acknowledged as its own discipline itself I think that is going to help push us in the right direction. But no, I think it's trending upward, man. I think when you go to tournaments, you have a lot more people on the same page than you have on different pages. Now, I'm talking at the local level and the regional level, Kyle. I'm not talking the national level because that's a whole nother area. But I think the local, regional level is where it's at. And there's a lot of good people out there that are organizing together and doing what is best for the athlete. So I think it's going in the right direction.
Absolutely. And I mean, there was a long time. What's up? Can I pull your sleeves up? Excuse me 1 second. You want to say hello to everyone?
I
He's been
love it.
very good so far.
I saw. What's up, big man? How you feeling?
Good.
See you.
Yeah. All right. Let that finish up and we'll get some lunch. All right. I'll pull up the other sleeve so you can wash your hands. Yes, sir. I got you, my friend. I appreciate. He's been peeping in the door to see if I'm busy or talking.
He's been needing to wash his hands for half an hour now, Kyle.
He slid me over a pack of Pringles next to the computer. Didn't say a word, just slid it over next to the computer. I opened it up and I slid it back to him, and he went running off.
I love it. I love it.
But back to what you were saying about the old dogs, right? I was out at an event this past weekend, and I got pulled in to judge in men's open weight, and AP was there, Anthony Price, legend, and he was centering, and they pulled me in because he needed a break, and I was like, AP, do you want to switch? Like, he was like, get rid of that legacy and that respect, and that it's time for you young guys to get out there and lead the way. Just because I'm here doesn't mean I need to be the guy, or just because these people are, it's time for myself, Nick, the young guys to come up. And I was like, and that, at that point I realized like we're moving in that right direction, that like it's no longer about legends or legacies or 10th degrees, first degrees, whatever it is. It's who's going to do a good job in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I think that is who is the best person for the best job, that job on that given day. And I thought that's all it's about. It's not about, oh, but that is Kyle Reed. Great. But if Joe Schmo is better, Joe Schmo needs a center. That is this so-and-so. Okay, great. Who is the best person for that specific job, whether it be 8-year-olds? I was in Mexico when we were training some Mexican judges for Mexisport Karate. And that's one thing I spoke about. I said, as a head judge, we're speaking to our head judge. As a head judge, you need to find of these 50 judges here, what are their strengths and what are their weaknesses? This guy might be the best judge and know all the rules, but he might be the worst one to deal with 7-year-old yellow belts. This girl might be the best one to deal with black belt adults because she has the most control. All right. But maybe she's not as nice around the edges to be dealing with 7-year-olds, right? Or whatever. My point is, you got to figure out that as a promoter, it's not just, well, he's going to be there. He's a black belt. What does that even mean? What is the black belt? Black belt means something different to everybody. What does a black belt have anything to do with the rules? All right. And so, yeah, you're right. I'm glad AP said that. AP's the man.
AP, and you know, AP always speaks the truth. So,
man, he judged me one time. Anyway, go ahead.
You can always tell when AP's around. You're getting the honest truth. There's no middle ground with AP. There's either straight shooter. And that's kind of the way that me and you are, and other people that we surround ourselves with. This is just the way it has to be.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree.
But I also think rewind. I think 5 to 8 years ago, we didn't see as many tournaments as we had here. COVID, that just leading up to COVID time, to coming out of COVID, you were lucky to find a tournament once a month.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you were lucky, 2 in a month. Now, I mean, y'all down in Florida do it differently. You can compete on Friday, on Saturday at one tournament, Sunday another tournament for 50 weeks of the year because we're only missing Christmas and something else.
Facts. And my wife's birthday.
That's a specific one. But I think this is a great time for sport karate because your access to events and quality events has absolutely taken off over the last year and a half, 2 years, that pretty much no matter what state you're in, you can find events within a drivable distance.
Sure. Yeah, man. If you want to compete, there's some great events, great leagues, great people hosting tournaments. And I think at the end of the day, that is what the customer needs to do. Speak with their wallet and support the events. Support the events that are moving in that right direction. If you go to an event, you have a good experience. Support them again. Tell someone about it. You go to an event, you realize they say it's starting at 9, it didn't start till noon, or you're there till 8 o'clock at night. Well, it's very simple. Next year, don't go back, right? Go down the road to the other guy's tournament who's doing something better, right? And I think that's so important. So yeah, man, there's COVID was terrible time, right? But at the end of the day, for businesses, I think it was a test. If you survive the test, it showed you were legitimate, you were ready to go, you had your ducks in a row. I mean, I'm sure all of us felt like maybe we weren't going to, but at the end of the day, we did, a lot of people did, because the customers believed in what they were doing. They believed in their product they were having. And so when you come out of that, you're able to pick back up and roll in and keep going and keep pushing forward, because you have the support of a solid customer base.
Yeah, no, COVID definitely, when we all felt that challenge, no matter what it was. I mean, us as martial arts instructors, I mean, I was teaching from a spare bedroom virtually for 3 to 6 months, doing Zoom classes, doing Zoom movie nights, doing anything we could to survive. But I also think that helped evolve myself in the business world. And as a person, I was always I had to come up with new things, new ways to keep everyone engaged, this, that, and the other thing. And I think that helps translate into kind of running a tournament. How
Yeah,
can I provide new and exciting and not the same old that we're used to? And if you got to experience that in that sense, like we said, it was not enjoyable. It was not a good time, but I always try to find the positive. I'm a glass
sure.
half full, not a half empty kind of guy. So what did I learn from that? And I think those really help me in my day to day, or with hosting tournaments or helping tournaments or whatever it may be. What new creative, cool idea can we bring to provide that one more level of service?
Yeah. No,
Because that's all it takes, is that
yeah,
one
it's
extra
one
step.
level. One extra step, 1% improvements, man. 1% improvements. I see Richard Osborne commenting on the thread, and that's a guy who's always looking to improve, one step at a time. If Richard can make one toe in the right direction, right, or win a match by a quarter of a point in that aspect, he would, because he cares about that little bit of improvement. And those are the kind of people that care about the sport, and we got to push forward for the sport. And so, yeah, man.
No, absolutely. All right. So now, what kind of changes or what new exciting news within USA Sport Karate can we expect to see? Whether it be rule changes, whether it be new divisions, whether it be new expansions, where are we at with USA Sport Karate, and where are we going, and what kind of I know you got a lot going on the back end of work,
We
but
got a lot going on. I guess because they're not all final yet. I would just say more regions. I have a vision for the sport. I think the important thing is build up regions, right? Build up regions for our athletes, because I don't think athletes should need to go and fly every tournament and spend $400 in a hotel every tournament. I think they should be to go compete, drive back home, make it home for dinner, right? The average competitor. Obviously, you're a black belt. You're going to go wherever the heck you need to go because you're a diehard, right? And
Kevin Walker.
Right? Oh, yeah. It's all about building up the regions. Build up the regions to give these kids an opportunity, and these black belts an opportunity to win a state, to win to win a regional title, and then head over to the true nationals, which is coming up for us here in a couple of weeks. And so we have some regions that we're discussing with right now. You saw we just announced a Mexico Sport Karate. I will say that currently you know what, I'm not going to say where because I don't want to jinx anything, right? But I will say we've got two other regions being built up aside from where we're already at. So if we take it, right now we're in Florida. Right now we have Pennsylvania. Right now we have New York. Right now we have New Jersey. Part of it, right? And we're working on expanding and building its own region, right? But if all goes well in the next 4 weeks, you'll see two more announcements, two more regions being announced. But I think that's the direction we want to go with, And one group that we're speaking with, I think what they said echoes what you said earlier. What they liked most about what we were talking about is we weren't going in there telling them what to do. We weren't just saying, waving our magic wand and saying this. We're telling them, hey, this is the direction. And as we build different regions, each region will have a seat at the table to make votes on rule changes and updates. It's not going to be Jeromy Roque, and it never was, going down there, reaching over and say, hey, do this. No, we all have a seat at the table. Let's vote. Let's get together and let's think, hey, is this best for our athlete? If that question is yes, then we go on to part two. Okay, what rule changes need to be made, right? One thing I know is face shields. It's a lot of talk amongst our promoters right now about face shields. Necessary, not necessary. Mandatory, optional. Do we keep them? Do we not? What do we do? It's just talk right now, right? But that's something that we're going to be discussing. So you should expect a text message here pretty soon, all right? But I mean, that's one area that when hearing with our team and hearing in their areas, because again, we have to look at that too. Maybe in Florida, it's more predominant. Maybe in New York, it's not. Maybe in Jersey, it's not. I don't know. Maybe in PA, it is. The point is, every region has something different. And we need to respect also the requirements of the region while the rules can stay the same, right?
Absolutely.
So that's one direction we're going with, Kyle. Kyle, we really just want to keep moving forward and uniting. And even if it's one tournament at a time or one region at a time or one league at a time, then we're going to do that. And we're going to keep pushing forward with the goal. And until, I'm a firm believer in the open place market. The market will eventually tell us when you've overstepped. And I don't think we'll have overstepped because people are wanting that unity. They want to know, how are we playing today? What are we playing today? Are we, come on. If you go to play basketball, are you playing on a 6-foot hoop or a 10-foot hoop? Imagine if on Saturday you played on a 2-footer and Sunday a 10-footer, right? I can dunk today. I can't dunk tomorrow, right? Come on now. It's got to be, that's something that we're working towards.
That level of unity, that level of the same thing. Now we're on to a Rice Krispie treat. He's really going through the snack jar since I am out of eyesight.
You're going to go out there and all the wrappers are going to be everywhere, but at least he's sharing with you.
Okay. I didn't mean to take it all the way out. Here's what the public doesn't see, the behind the conversations there. But also I've seen, or I've been to events that have used quote unquote USA Sport Karate rules, but have not been a USA Sport Karate event. And honestly, I think that, you'd probably agree. That's exactly what the real is to align that rule set, that you may not have to be with us, but you align with us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've been to 2 or 3 events that I went to the rule set and they were like, oh, it's the same as USA Sport Karate. We're good. And I don't even have to look up the rule set for this weekend. Great. Life is easy. Yeah. But we find that is my father over here busting my chops about busting Maddox's about his snacks. But I find that to be the real, one of the partly the goals is if you want to be an independent, you want to be your own thing, that's fine. But you're unsure on the rule set, or you think this is the way the rule set's done, reach out, look them up. All of our rule sets for every league that whether it be USA Sport Karate or others, they're public.
Yep.
They're public. And you'll see that some of us are very closely not far off on a rule set, maybe a slight here, slight there, but there are some of us that are very here with our rules, and aren't far apart, that the transition from here to there is easy.
The truth is, Kyle, I think none of us are that far apart. Almost none of us are that far apart in the rules. But now we have to get, are we close in the way we execute those rules? And are we close up here the way we treat our customers? And I think that is something that we're a little further off on. But at the end of the day, you're right. The rules are not that far off. Subtle changes, subtle adjustments. Like you said, I think it's really mainly the execution. Really the execution of those rules, the execution at the ring. No different than, this weekend we're at one of our tournaments, and I just have to remind the corner, hey, corner, we stand in a triangle formation unless there's an open stance. Then you can move it this way. But again, just teaching them, right? And reminding our centers, it's this. But also center, they can move if the open stance is this way. Small things like I had to remind the center, it's okay. Say, hey, for judging informs, you're sitting too close. The optics look so bad on that. Your next division, you need to adjust your seat. You should be one whole square away. That's 3.3 feet separation between you and the judge next to you. So that way you guys are, there's no optics of you possibly seeing someone else's score. Small things, right? Small things that we're not perfect on. I tell you this to be transparent, right? I mean, like you said, we made mistakes, and that's an adjustment that we're making. So,
yeah, no, and it just comes down to also the education that to provide, right? If we can't educate or inform those who are in the chair, those who are sitting around the ring, no matter who it is, if you are poorly or not properly educated on what is going on, I can't hold you accountable for it.
yeah.
At that point, it becomes my fault that I didn't do the correct job to put you in that position to be successful.
100%, man. 100%. I think promoters got to realize that too, is everyone wants a huge tournament. They want 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 1,000 athletes. But are you ready for that? Are you ready to provide that level of support? It's like in my school. Man, I would love to take 100 more students. But today, I couldn't service 100 more students. They would all come in and they would quit in a month. Why? Because they wouldn't have enough assistants on the mat. The class will be too packed, and to open more classes up. So again, I need to be able to service them as well. So if you are a promoter and you're wanting those large numbers, beautiful, get it. Support, be there and serve them, but serve them properly with judges, with rings, with schedules. Remember, you can't double your event from last year to this and keep the same amount of rings. All right. I mean, something has to give, or more sessions or whatever, but it's not a hope. I hope the judges will come. No, provide it, right? The service needs to be there. Service one, serve your customers, serve your officials too, by letting them know, hey, you're going to be in this ring. This is what you're working on this session. Again, man, provide that level of service, Kyle. I think you're doing an amazing job. I'm glad to have you a part of the team. But even if you weren't part of the team, I would still say you're doing an amazing job, because I see what you're doing, man. I think Mid-Atlantic, and this is what I'm talking when I say young blood, some things that you're doing that other people haven't even thought about it, right? And other people now are going to take your idea and run with it, and they're going to make it 10 times better, and that's okay. And you're going to take their idea and make it 10 times better, and that's okay. Why? Because you have a young group, a young eyes, young mind coming into a tournament, and that is what is needed.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm just trying to give back to the life that I've invested to. I know the opportunities that were given to me, and the chances that were given to me, and I think those times have changed to different opportunities and different chances and different ways of doing it. But I think the mindset still has to be the same. But like you said, too much growth is not a good thing. Sustainable growth is key. Right? Like if I can add 50 to maybe 100 people to the Mid-Atlantic this year from where we were last year, I did a fantastic job.
And you have the space to do it.
Yes.
You now have a bigger venue. Matter of fact, you have more space than needed, a bigger venue. You got, from last year to this, double the mats now than necessary, whether we use them all or not. But the point is, you have put the infrastructure in place with the venue, the mats, the equipment. I'm sure you're thinking about the people and say, okay, do I need to activate them based on their number account? But that's what it's all about, man. It's thinking for the customer, thinking for the athlete. Like I know I went to your event. I thought the event was great. I had no problem in the hotel, but you left there thinking we got to move tomorrow. What are you talking about? Yeah, this. I'm like, Kyle, I didn't experience that. Yes, but this person did. This person did. It's okay. Next week I have a bigger, better venue. Boom. Hey, I just signed the contract at Kalahari. What?
You're not wrong.
That's how quick you moved to service your people, to service your base, and that's how it needs to happen. It can't be, oh yeah, well, the week before the tournament, let me see what judges I have. What?
Yeah, no. Look, I already got lists. I got everything like that. You got to wash your hands again. Too many Pringles, my friend, and sticky Rice Krispie treats. But no, that those are complaints that like I have to take into consideration. And yeah, is the hotel part of the tournament experience? Absolutely. I feel it
Sure.
is. I feel it is. I mean, I know from where we were. I won't mention where exactly because I don't know I don't want to get shade from no one. But the water park the heater was broken. You're in Pennsylvania in January, going to an indoor water park, and it's cold in January.
Yeah.
Like so, there was not enjoyable there. The pool heater was broke. The heat, like this, that, and the other thing. And I wanted that experience for the competitor because I remember, and you remember probably when the tournament's done, being able to hang out with your friends, run around, do this, do that, do this, do that. And they couldn't do that there. There was one restaurant, and the even for the parents to hang out and have a couple drinks. The bar closed early. The water park was cold. There was nothing for them to hang out and do.
My only request is please do lots of prayers. I want some snow.
Okay, well, the snow can come Saturday night after the event or Sunday morning, but
When
not that.
And the flight back, right?
Well, you can watch it as you're in the airplane. You can fly through it. Not Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We don't want. You're right. We want people to come in, finish competing, and then
Look at my father. You see what he said?
No snow. Chuck, we're in Florida, man. I don't see this thing. I want to see it a little bit, but I don't want to fly into it. I don't want to fly out of it. So yeah, you're right. From like 6 p.m. to about midnight, I'll take it. No, sorry. Yeah, 6, because by then we'll be done loading up and done breaking down, and Chuck won't have to freeze loading in the theater.
Oh yeah, no, God no. But yeah, no, all good things. Like I know my goal wasn't to talk about the Mid Atlantic Challenge. You directed towards it, but I'm super excited for it. But I know USA Sport Karate has a lot of big events coming up. We got Nationals, Halloween weekend, IMAF, Dave Scolar's event in Daytona, which I'm jealous I'm missing this year a little bit. Daytona Beach sounds real enjoyable around there, but taking the little guy trick-or-treating, so we're sending Big Chuck out for the weekend so he can enjoy the beach. After that, we got K-Talk up here in the north. Sue and Rick Diaz. It's that November 23rd, if I'm off the top of my head.
So Sue's event is going to be an amazing event. We're already preparing for it, get everything ready. Actually, tomorrow we have a judges training. Tomorrow's Wednesday, 8 p.m. So if you are going to that event, we have an online judges training for that. And but yeah, November 23rd in Queens. And then we actually have one down here, December 6th. We haven't announced yet, but talk about it. Then we get to January, which we got a couple. We got the Winter Classic on the 11th, and we got the Mid Atlantic. Someone was asking the 31st, right? So man, it's gonna be a fun year. It's gonna be a fun year. Exciting year, exciting times, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a great year. I'm super excited for all the new events that are coming. Yeah, Don, it is January 31st in the Poconos, Pennsylvania. I think it's about 10 to 12 hour drive from Detroit area, or you can fly into local hub of Avoca direct from Detroit. The only reason I know that is because when I go out to Detroit, that's what I do.
So
But
there you go. I take back snowing. I don't want Dawn driving in the snow for 10, 12 hours. I don't want
perfect.
that
See, we're here for you, Don. But
to
it's going to be a
happen.
great year. Oh, same day as hers out there. That's all right. We'll collab out next year and make sure we don't align together, because I'd really like to get out and support you guys, because you guys are great people. You guys do great things, and we always have great conversation out when I see you at events. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We still have good fun conversations.
They had a
But
fun
it's
group
going to be
on Vice
an
City.
exciting year. I think we got almost 12 events, 10 or 12 events planned up here in the north. It's going to be great, but I'm super excited for this podcast. We have some great people coming up. I haven't announced next week's guest yet, but I promise you, it'll be a little entertaining, a little bit of fun. Uh, we'll get to hear from. I'm not telling you yet, but you'll see.
Let's
So
go. Let's go.
I'm excited. I've spent a lot of time in this sport, guys, and I built a lot of hopefully good relationships that I want to have these conversations with people. I want to have this open conversation. Whatever you're a part of, whatever you do, whatever you're involved with this lifestyle that we somehow found to love. I want to have this conversation with you. All
Mhm.
right, and I appreciate Mr. Jeromy for jumping on with us. Um, I know I had a cool intro video before we got on, but I did not get to design a cool outro video. But I promise on the way out next time, there will be a much better in and out. I actually ordered a whole podcast setup, microphone, lights, and everything. So within the next week or two, this whole view of me is going to change.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the topics that you're going to address and bring up, and the change you're gonna incite. I'm looking forward to it. I think at the end of the day, you care about the athlete, and if when you have that goal, when you have that heart, athlete, competitor first, I just feel only positive can come from that. Again, when you put the athlete first, the only positive change will come, and a better tournament, a better experience, better for everyone. And again, even if you just get one piece of advice, one tip, then it'll make your event that much better.
Absolutely. And guys, add me on Facebook if you have topics that want to be talked about, questions. You can always message me. You can always ask me a question or say, hey, I think this would be a great topic, or can we find out more information about this? That commented on this post, commented on the video, send me a personal message. I'm usually pretty quick on getting back to people as fast as I can. So if anything that comes up that you may say, hey, you guys talked about this, can you elaborate more? Hey, go to this next topic, reach out. I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm excited to see who we bring on and the conversations we have. But again, this is all for the love of the sport, the love for the competitor, and the love for the life that we have chose, guys. So I greatly appreciate everyone who tuned in, commented, maybe liked, comment, shared. Make sure we get this out there, because this podcast is not going nowhere. We're going to be coming back for more, bigger and better next time, guys. So I appreciate you all, and thank you so much. And we'll catch you on next week, Mr. Jeromy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.
You too.